Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new here. My name is Xiao. Today is a really exciting review for you guys. I'm trying out the new Flower Beauty Get Real Serum Foundation, and my favorite foundation ever is also from Flower Beauty, and it is their Light Illusion. I do have dry and dehydrated skin, so I always tend to go for very dewy, hydrating foundation. So since I love the Flower Beauty Light Illusion foundation so much, I definitely wanted to try out their new serum foundations. So I picked up two shades. I have Nude L3 and Natural Beige M1. So just a little bit more about this foundation. On the Flower Beauty website, they carry 16 shades, and this retails for $15, and it is 1.0 fluid ounce per packaging. This packaging is also a really nice glass bottle, and it has a pump as well. The claims for this foundation states that it is a hydrating and weightless buildable foundation that conceals and smooths skin, leaving you with a natural looking and radiant finish. This is also a cruelty-free and vegan product. Alright, so like I stated, I have the shades Nude L3 and Natural Beige M1. I'm going to start off with the swatches on my face. I'm going to swatch the Nude L3 first, and then we'll do Natural Beige M1 right next to that. So this lighter one is a really nice natural, I'd say it's a good neutral warm light shade, and the darker shade is like the perfect medium warm tone. It's a little bit warm. You can see it looks a little bit orange. I'm just gonna let these sit on my face for a couple minutes, and then we'll swatch some new swatches right next to it just to see if the shades darken over time. Alright, so I'm not sure if you guys can see the new fresh swatches, but I don't know what it will look like after a couple hours, but just after about 2 minutes or so, I can definitely tell that these two shades that were swatched about 2 minutes ago have darkened just the slightest, like half a shade, not even anything too bad. So now I'm going to go ahead and apply this foundation on my face. On my left side, I'm going to use a sponge, and on my right side, I'm going to use a brush just to see which works best with this serum foundation. So I just want to show you guys what the product looks like coming out of the bottle. It is a really liquidy foundation because it is a serum foundation. You can see it's really watery and just kind of goes down my hand. One thing I did notice about this packaging and this pump is that you can't really control the pump, so you can't control the amount that you pump out. It's like just a full pump. You can't really do like a half pump. I'm just gonna do 2 pumps, and then I'm gonna do maybe 1 pump of the darker shade just to kind of get my perfect shade. So since this is a really liquidy foundation, again, since it is a serum foundation, I like to apply a little bit more, and then I'll go in with my sponge. So I've applied 1 layer to this side with the sponge, and you can see that I used up all the product, the full 2 pumps of the lighter shade and the full 1 pump of the darker shade. So that used 3 pumps in total, and this is what my sponge looks like. So obviously the sponge did soak in the foundation a little bit, and that's pretty common, but I figured since this is a lighter serum foundation, I figured it might soak it in just a little bit more, but it doesn't look too bad. Honestly, it looks like a really light coverage, very glowy foundation. I'm going to try to go in with just a little bit more, and we'll see how well that covers up to see if it's just a little bit more buildable. I have 2 layers on now. I would say it didn't build that much. Honestly, it still looks kind of the same. You can still see a lot of my skin. I feel like it just kind of gave me like a really nice glow and just like the slightest bit of coverage. So let's go ahead and work on this side now with a brush. Alright, so this is 1 layer with the brush. I do feel like the coverage is a little bit better, but I do still have a little bit more foundation. I did, again, 2 full pumps of the lighter shade and 1 full pump of the darker shade, and I didn't have to use that much, so I'm just going to use the rest of this to do a 2nd layer. So I now have 2 layers on both sides, this side using brush, this side using a sponge. Now that I look close, I feel like the brush side looks a lot more dewy because I feel like the sponge did help soak in a lot of the foundation and made it less shiny and less oily looking. But the brush side looks really dewy. I don't want to say dewy because dewy to me is like a very natural shine. It looks really oily, honestly. I'm not used to looking this oily since I do have really dry skin. My skin right now is pretty dry because I started using retinol again. Voiceover Shao, I just wanted to also mention that I realized I had really bad allergies the other day, so I did have to blow my nose multiple times, and that is also why I have a lot of dry patches around my nose. And so I don't want to completely blame this serum foundation for clinging onto my dry patches, because I think with any foundation, if you have a lot of dry patches like I did, it will cling. So I just also wanted to put that out there. So I do have a lot of dry patches around my nose, and it's definitely settling in my dry patches. Oh my god, it looks so bad around my nose and my forehead. I will zoom you guys in to see. Hopefully you guys were able to see my dry patches a little bit better up close. So yeah, I do definitely see that foundation is clinging to my dry patches under my nose and just a little bit on my eyebrows. And my forehead does look a little bit dry just because I'm kind of dry everywhere right now. It is a really beautiful dewy foundation in my opinion. I feel like it's too dewy even for me. It feels kind of oily. So if you have oily skin, I don't think you will like this foundation. But like, I feel really oily on top of my lip. Like if you're sweating, that's how I feel like. I feel like I'm sweating on top of my lips and it just feels kind of weird. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my face and I will be right back. Alright, so I'm back. I have the rest of my products on my face. I did end up setting my entire face with translucent powder just because it felt so oily and wet, and usually I never set my face just because I do have really dry skin, but I did end up setting my whole face and then going on with bronzer and contour. So my overall thoughts of this serum foundation is that I feel like if you have really nice skin with not a lot of texture, this would work really well for you, because since it is a serum foundation, I feel like it does tend to cling on to any dry patches. But if you can prime your face really well to the point where your skin has literally no texture, I think it would work really well. It looks beautiful like on the outsides of my face. It's just the dry patches in the center just looks a little bit patchy. Also, I did notice that this foundation doesn't really have a scent, so if you are really sensitive to scents, you don't really have to worry about it. So in terms of this foundation meeting its claims, which states that it is a hydrating, weightless, buildable foundation, I don't think that it's hydrating in the fact that like my skin absorbs it and makes my skin feel really hydrated, like a moisturizer type of hydrate. I feel like it's hydrating in the fact that it's kind of heavy and kind of oily, if that makes sense. And then it does state that it is a weightless buildable foundation. I don't think that it's super buildable. It does like build just the slightest, because you saw I did 2 layers. It says it's supposed to conceal and smooth skin, leaving you with a natural looking and radiant finish. So as I've stated, it's very radiant. If you're looking for that very glowy, very glowy foundation, this is definitely for you. But I think I'm definitely going to continue to wear it. I think just because I have a lot of dry patches right now, it just isn't working well with my skin. In terms of a sponge or a brush, I think I prefer a sponge just because it does help take away more of that radiant finish, and I feel like just me in general with dry skin, brushes just doesn't work that well for me. They do cling more onto my dry patches. I personally am going to continue using it. I think if you're going to use this foundation, like I stated, make sure your skin texture is on point. Make sure you're priming properly. I do prime per usual with every foundation that I review for you guys. But I hope you guys found this video helpful for anyone who has dry or dehydrated or texture skin like myself. If you have any questions or any other requests, let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.